Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 7 and Text 14. Ashesha Sanklesha Samam Vidatte Guna Anuvada Shravanam Murare Kimva Punaha Tat Charanaravinda Paraga Seva Ratihi Atmalabdha Ashesha Shanklesha Samam Vidatte Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare Kimva Punastas Charanaravinda Paraga Seva Ratiratmalabdha. Ashesha, unlimited. Sanklesha, miserable conditions. Samam, cessation. Vidatte, can perform. Guna Anuvadha, of the transcendental name, form, qualities, pastimes, entourage, and paraphernalia, etc. Shravanam, hearing and chanting. Murare, of Murari, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the personality of Godhead. Kimva, what to speak of. Punaha, again. Tat, his. Charana Aravinda, lotus feet. Paraga Seva, to the service of the favorable dust. Ratihi, attraction. Atmalabdha, those who have gained such self-achievement. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada. Translation, simply by chanting and hearing of the transcendental name, form, etc. of the personality of Godhead Śrī Kṛṣṇa, one can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable conditions. Therefore, what to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet? Please repeat. Simply by chanting and hearing of the transcendental name, form, etc. of the personality of Godhead, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, one can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable conditions. Therefore, what to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the Lord's lotus feet. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Two different methods for controlling the material senses are recommended in the Vedic scriptural wisdom. One of them is the process of jnana, or the path of philosophical understanding of the Supreme, Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. The other is that of direct engagement in the transcendental loving devotional service of the Lord. Of these two most popular methods, the path of devotional service is recommended here as the best, because one on the path of devotional service does not have to wait for the attainment of the fruitive results of pious activities or for the results of knowledge. The two stages of executing devotional service are: first, the stage of practicing devotional service with our present senses under the regulations of the recognized scriptures, and second, attaining sincere attachment for serving the particles of the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. The first stage is called sadhana bhakti, or devotional service for the neophyte, which is rendered under the direction of a pure devotee, and the second stage is called raga bhakti, in which the mature devotee automatically takes two various services of the Lord out of sincere attachment. The great sage Maitreya now gives the final answer to all the questions of Vidura. Devotional service to the Lord is the ultimate means to mitigate all the miserable conditions of the material existence. The path of knowledge, or that of mystic gymnastics, may be adopted as a means for the purpose, but unless mixed with bhakti or devotional service, they are unable to award the desired result. By practicing sadhana bhakti, one may gradually rise to the point of raga bhakti, and by performing raga bhakti in loving transcendental service, one can even control the supreme powerful Lord. The sense the Bhaktivedanta Purporto Madhyanathimiran Dasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Śrī Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jaya Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvas Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama. So this is the concluding verse of Maitreya, answering all the previous questions of Vidura. So if you look at Bhagavatam, it is not trying to give you solution problem wise. This is my problem, and what is the solution? Or this is my issue, or what is the solution? Bhagavatam is not addressing like that. Nor it is encouraging any devotee to approach the Lord for mitigation of some individual problems. I have this problem, so we have to offer that prayer, or I have this issue, so I have to offer that prayer. It is not talking all those. Bhagavatam is talking about much more fundamental. And here it is explained also, it is talking about mitigation of all the miserable conditions. It's a wholesale solution. This issue, that issue. There is no end to this list of issues. Everybody in this world will have these issues and problems to solve. So running behind solutions for all the problems and trying to find some solutions, this is considered as advancement of civilization. If the civilization is able to identify certain solutions, mostly technological solutions, to some of the issues that we have, that is considered as advancement of civilization. But according to Bhagavatam, that is not a proper method. This is like English medicine. There is a fever, you go, they will give one tablet. After some time, for example, this one fever tablet, during COVID, one fever tablet has crossed 300 crores sales turnover. It has come to headlines. So it has been projected as a savior during the COVID. So people glorify small solutions as saviors, as something extraordinary, not understanding that there is a process, there is a way by which you can cessation klesha. Unlimited miseries, shamam means mitigation. Not knowing that there is a way by which you can mitigate cessation klesha, unlimited miseries in our lives. And what is that? Gunanuvada shravanam murade. Very simplified process. Simply you hear about Krishna's various wonderful forms by which we can touch the Lord. His name, His form, His qualities, like how merciful He is, how wonderful He is. Then pastimes which are described in Bhagavatam, Krishna book. Then entourage. Lord is not alone, He is always with His loving devotees. Particularly Krishna is never alone. One of the unique attributes of the Lord is that Krishna particularly is that he is always surrounded by loving devotees. So, understanding about his devotees and paraphernalia, the next is entourage and paraphernalia. Lord carries a shankha, chakra, he travels on Garuda. Everything is a subject matter for hearing. So if we hear like that, then asesha shanklesha shamam kim va puna. Now he is mentioning, Maitreya Rishi, that what to talk about such a person. Now he is talking about a different category. He is saying what to talk about such a person who is tas charana ravinda, who has developed ratihi, attraction towards Lord's lotus feet. Not just the Lord's lotus feet, it is saying here paraga seva, the dust at the Lord's lotus feet. Serving the dust of the Lord's lotus feet, ratihi, if someone develops such attraction, what to talk about such a devotee? So there are two categories of devotees are mentioned here in this one shloka. One is the beginning devotee. Prabhupada mentions in the purport, the first stage is called sadhana bhakti, devotional service for the neophyte, which is rendered under the direction of a pure devotee. And the second stage is called raga bhakti, in which the mature devotee automatically takes to various services of the Lord out of sincere attachment. During sadhana bhakti, since there is no sincere attachment to Krishna, one may have some motivations to take up devotional service. That's how many people start their journey of bhakti. Unfortunately, because they do not have the direction of a pure devotee, most of the devotees under various religions they will be stuck in the first level itself. They won't be able to develop sincere attachment to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So they will be maintaining their motivations and continue to perform whatever bhakti they can. This is what most of the people do. But Prabhupada and here Maitreya Rishi are talking about a different level. It says Raga Bhakti. So if somebody sincerely acts as per the directions given by a pure devotee, he is blessed with one more level where he renders all kinds of services but out of spontaneous attachment. Here it is mentioned sincere attachment, out of sincere attachment. And what does Prabhupada say about developing this sincere attachment? Did he say that you can have various kinds of motivations in order to serve? Outside people, for example, let us say you chant 64 rounds, chant 16 rounds, chant this much, then immediately he will be calculating what is that I'll get. And then if we can convince him about some fancy thing that he is going to get, let us say, they'll very sincerely they'll chant 16 rounds. If you want, they can even rotate 128 rounds. That is there. But that is not out of sincere attachment to Krishna. Devotees should not invent some extraneous motivations to do bhakti. You should not calculate or come up with some kind of a unique motivation in order to render service to Krishna. We have to render service to Krishna out of sincere attachment to Krishna. Here it is said, Paraga Seva Rati Atmalabdha. It is not that bhakti is somehow to be done. No, it is meant for developing sincere attachment to Krishna. Outside world, they use two forces to motivate people, masses. In the last verse we have discussed. They use these two emotions extensively in order to create movement in the people's psyche. What are those forces? Raga Dvesha, Vimukta-istu. Raga and Dvesha, they utilize these two forces and manipulate the masses. They either create attachment or they create unlimited hatred against other jivas, against other animals, against other religions, against other communities, against other colors, innumerable ways. If it is European and other countries, it's about color. You are a black and I am a white. If it is in India, then it is about caste. Or everywhere in the world, it is all about some religion, that religion, this religion. As long as one is absorbed in this hateful content, there is so much content nowadays about this hate, unlimited. If somebody is continuously consuming this content of hatred and attachment, Sri Radha Govind, how can you ever develop attachment to Krishna? If you are continuously hearing and kirtana, you are spreading hatred and attachment to matter, how can you develop attachment to the Supreme Spirit? Impossible. A jiva can develop only one attachment, and that must be Krishna. Anybody who gets into this Maya and then goes on, here it is mentioned, Gunanuvada Shravanam Murare, the Supreme Lord's gunas, that is the one which is meant for our consumption. the other content which will generate those feelings of too much attachment to this world, feelings of too much hatred about this world, that is called Vayasatirtham, meant for crows. If somebody wants to become a swan, this is not the content for him. This is not what is we are supposed to hear and chant throughout the day, 24 hours. This is not. Then we will not be able to develop attachment to Krishna. Forget about Krishna's lotus feet. Dust of Krishna's lotus feet. Where? That much sensitivity, how somebody can develop if he is absorbed in very envious, hateful, and other kinds of feeling. If the body is boiling with all these negative emotions, how can you ever develop love? Love is a very sensitive thing. Love of Krishna is even more a sensitive affair. We're not talking about the gross lust that we see in this world. So sadhana bhakti is meant for throughout the day absorbing ourselves somehow in this gunanavada shravanam Hare Krishna's. We are so fortunate that we came in touch with a pure devotee who could reveal pure devotional service to this world. Please understand, pure devotional service is not easily available in this world. So much devotion is available, but pure devotional service is impossible. That has been given to us. That is extremely fortunate. Kona bhagyavan jiva. But then, are we taking advantage? Or are we again diverting our attention to developing rati, interest, attachment to the worldly subjects? Particularly in this, between this attachment and hateful. Hateful is most strong. Very, 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 very difficult to come out of these forces. So our movement is exclusively meant for pure devotional service of Krishna. And what is that pure devotional service? Paramo nirmasaranam satam vastavam vastu shivadam tapatraya unmolanam. Now here, Bhagavatam in the beginning verses we have seen how to uproot these tapatrayas. Here it is mentioned, ashesha sanklesha shamam. How can we uproot? This is what Bhagavatam is talking from first verse to middle verse to end. Ultimate verse. Ultimate verse it says, Kaler dosha nide rajan, but asti he eko mahan guna. Kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangaha. Again it is talking about mukta sangha. How you can be free from these forces which are acting on us on a day-to-day basis. First shloka, middle shloka, end shloka, everything is talking about Krishna Kirtana. Here also it is Gunanavada Shravanam. Shravanam and Kirtana. So Bhagavatam is saying Nirmasara. Paramo Nirmasara. It is a supreme freedom from envy. Why you hate somebody? Because you are very envious. That he is growing. I am not growing. Or they are growing. We are not growing. Or something is increasing. I am not increasing. This is envy. So, that is Paramo Nirmasarana. Is that Nirmasarata. Vastavam Vastu. Devotees are interested in Vastu. Vastavam. What is the reality? He is interested only in truth. He is not interested in all these emotions and forces. So, as soon as somebody becomes interested in the truth of this world, truth of the transcendental world, truth of Krishna, then, yes, slowly he will develop attachment to the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. Here Prabhupada is saying, serving the flavor of the dust, not even the dust directly. Flavor of the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. See, that's the mood of a pure devotee. So, opportunity has been given to us. Innumerable books Prabhupada has personally written. Transcendentally, he has recorded all these things for our sake. What is pending is we have to just read and hear whatever Srila Prabhupada has given. He never mixed modes into this. In his purports, in his talks, in his everything, you will see he never mixed the modes. He always presented the transcendental position of Krishna. This movement is meant for that. We can only promote devotional service. And the motivation for us is to attain attraction to Krishna. That's all. That's the only motivation. We don't want any other, this raga dvesha motivation. Oh, somebody is going on, so let's do something. No, we don't want to develop our motivation on the basis of dualities of this world. We don't want to develop our motivation on the basis of raga dvesha. We want to develop sincere attachment to Krishna. Krishna, on his own, he has a attraction. Why we need to depend on some other motivations? He himself is all attractive. Krishna is all attractive. Why I need some other attraction in terms of this raga and dvesha? Complete, utterly foolish. In the beginning days, okay, if it is giving you some kick to practice, maybe, fine. But one day you have to give it up. Otherwise, sincere attachment to Krishna is not possible. So that's why Prabhupada is saying this is the final answer to all the questions of Vidura. Final answer. What is that? Devotional service to the Lord is the ultimate path to mitigate all miserable conditions. So devotees have to, now then what is the motivation in the beginning days? We want to purify. This is the motivation. So many things are pulling me down. So many, I have so many issues to transcend. So now that is the motivation. Our own introspection, the things that I need to develop, I need to purify, that becomes the motivation for the devotee. And then he strictly follows instructions of the spiritual master so that he can come out of asesha shanklesha. All these miseries are because of our unwanted things, anartha. So that's why Prabhupada is saying by practicing sadhana bhakti, one may gradually rise to the point of raga bhakti. This should be the target of the devotee. He should know how he is developing in his bhakti. And what is the development? Has he developing attraction to chanting? Are we developing attraction to attending sadhana, kirtans, dancing? This is raga bhakti. One can easily see. Particularly, am I interested in chanting and hearing? If our chanting is full of this dualistic forces, raga, dvesha, all this krodha, anger, envy, then where is the question of chanting properly? It is impossible to chant when all those forces are disturbing our consciousness. It is common sense. Unless one is peacefully able to keep his So when the mind is absorbed in these dualistic forces, then it is impossible. We can make a show of chanting and hearing. It will have effect. It takes time. It takes time. But Prabhupada said, don't make me come back to this world in order to save you. It is a responsibility of Srila Prabhupada to save each one of us. But Prabhupada also said, don't make me to come in this world again and again. Finish it off. One lifetime you finish it off. Why don't you use your time for nicely reading and understanding and implementing? Then one can expect to develop attraction to Krishna's lotus feet. Actually, if you see Maitreya's in the beginning descriptions, he glorifies Krishna's lotus feet in colorful terms. It's a prayers of devatas to Krishna and Krishna's lotus feet. One should be eager to read. These are the verses where we have to focus. Till we reach Raga Bhakti, a liberated stage, our only focus should be the lotus feet of the Lord. If you want to meditate on Krishna, meditate only on the lotus feet of the Lord. In great detail, in great eagerness, one can focus on the lotus feet of the Lord. And then only there is a hope one day that we can be free from the clutches of Maya, the clutches of these miseries. Why all these beatings are coming? Because we are not developing attachment to Krishna, we are developing attachment to matter. This is only, that is the root cause. Anything matter, that will only give you this asesha, sanklesha, unlimited miseries. So in one memory, one devotee was explaining, once Prabhupada was seated in the next room, and this side is a small kitchen. So one devotee, he is cooking for Prabhupada. And when he is cooking, he calls another one or two devotees also came to the kitchen. And this devotee is talking to the other devotees, some various things. Prabhupada calls this person who is cooking, he calls, come to my room. He comes. What are you talking? No, Prabhupada, and something we are trying to discuss. Prabhupada says, this gossip will destroy this moment. Gossip means talking about others, their, some masala. Even if it is outside world, sometimes they circulate some jokes on politicians, or what he said where, or some, all those crap will come. Immediately a devotee should know this is crap number one. It is meant for GHMC truck, not my head. Don't make your heads into GHMC trucks. It is vayasatidham, simply smelling and stinking. It will make you a stinking boy. What do you want to be? You want to be a blossoming, wonderful, light-hearted Vaishnava with all the sensitivities and good behavior, or a stinking, moving GHMC truck. If it is not even hitting you, that means already the truck has taken over. That is the power of this Maya's content. Don't fall for this. This is danger. Prabhupada, this gossip it will simply destroy this moment. Our moment is not for this gossip. There are 3 big religions in this world. They're all into this gossip. We are not one of them. We are a transcendental Srimad Bhagavatam path, meant only for pure devotional service. We are not into these religions which are fighting under the modes. This is Nistraygunya Bhavajuna. Ours is a transcendental religion, transcendental path of achieving Krishna's lotus feet. Any questions? Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700.